Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. The Russian charge d'affaires to India, Roman Babushkin, has spoken to the media today. In fact, Russia has dismissed the US tariffs on India over its procurement of Russian crude oil, calling it unjustified and unilateral, and stressed that Moscow and Delhi will continue energy cooperation notwithstanding external pressure. The Deputy Chief of Mission of Russia to India, Roman Babushkin, said that US has weaponized the economy, but added that friends do not impose sanctions and Russia will never impose sanctions on India. Listen in to what he had to say.
From the facts that Russia is the biggest supplier to India of the crude oil, and India's demands are growing year by year. And certainly this is a perfect case of a mutual accommodation and supplementarity of our economies. Absolutely. So this is not the first time while our trade and economic relations and our particular goods are threatened by external factors. But each and every time I invite you to remember that we have managed to succeed and to find ways how we can further cooperate based on our mutual interests, national interests. So we are quite certain that our cooperation will continue.
Russia has in fact dismissed the US tariffs on India over its procurement of Russian crude oil, calling it unjustified and unilateral. He has said that Moscow and New Delhi would continue energy cooperation notwithstanding external pressures. In fact, the CDA has spoken to me earlier, particularly about what India and Russia are willing to do to counter the additional 25% tariffs on India for importing Russian oil. Listen in to what he had to say. I'm being joined by Charge d'Affaires of Russia to India, Mr. Babushkin. Thank you very much for joining me on NewsX. And my question is about what is India and Russia doing to counter the additional 25% tariffs that US has imposed on India for purchasing Russian oil, and has it dramatically impacted the reduction of India purchasing Russian oil, and what's going to happen in the near future?
If you have a look at the strategic partnership between our two nations for over several years, we have witnessed the ability of our ability to adjust to any kind of turbulence and to manage these difficulties and overcome any attempts to derail our cooperation. So we have absolutely no doubt that our partnership will continue, including in the area of our energy cooperation, because it is a natural area of our partnership. India is the largest consumer, Russia is the largest producer. The demand in India will grow, and it would be natural to believe that Russian supplies will continue despite any attempts of outside forces.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charge d'Affaires, for joining me. This is Megha Sharma signing off, and stay tuned on NewsX because the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Moscow. He is going to be meeting the Foreign Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, and we'll keep bringing you all the updates with regards to India-Russia relationship. The Charge d'Affaires, Babushkin, also spoke about the possibility of a bilateral between President Putin and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and he expressed hope for a trilateral taking place between India, Russia and China in the near future in wake of the normalization of ties between India and China.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Megha and I'm from NewsX. My question is about the SCO Summit that is going to happen in Tianjin in China. What's the likelihood of possible trilateral between the three leaders from Russia, China and India? And would there also be a bilateral that takes place between the Russian head of state and the Indian head of state? Also, what are the key areas of convergence between the three countries, Russia, China and India at this stage?
Thank you very much. Your you're right, we are all preparing to attend the SCO Summit at the highest political level. Quite recently, during the engagements with the Chinese foreign minister, in recent days, the Indian side confirmed the participation of Honorable Prime Minister Xi, attendance of the summit. There are also reports that we are preparing the bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. As far as trilateral is concerned, let's see, we are quite hopeful that this format will be resumed sooner better than later, because its importance is not questioned. But we should wait until the right time comes. So anyway, we would welcome these developments, because it proved its efficiency when we had regular interaction on the ministerial level and even at the leaders level. If you remember, before the pandemic, leaders of Russia, India, China used to meet regularly on the sidelines of G20 meetings. It would be natural to expect that at some point of time in the future we will have the resumption of this practice, hopefully. And as far as convergence is concerned, of course, the SCO is all about the regional stability in Eurasia, and which is mostly dependent on how the relations between the three largest countries in the region, Russia, India, and China, is developing. So more interaction, more engagements we will have, more common ground we will find in how we deal with the regional stability issues. So this is also closely linked to the Russian initiative of the establishment of the Greater Eurasian Partnership, which means that we should build the cooperation between the integration mechanisms, multilateral integration mechanisms in the region for the sake of undivided security. That means that someone's security should not be compromised at the expense of some other security. So that's why more dialogue, more benefit will be for all of us. Absolutely, that would be important to see that we have also practical cooperation between the three countries. We had very positive examples before 2020, when in the format of RIC we had joint engagements while we exchanged young diplomats, we exchanged scholars, we conducted joint conferences and seminars, so which could potentially lead to the establishment of practical cooperation in other areas. So we are very hopeful that this format will reestablish itself.
In fact, let's listen in to the full speech of the CDA on the India-Russia relations in the backdrop of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's ongoing visit to Moscow.
We are holding this year, 2025, as the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the strategic partnership between Russia and India. Along with that, we celebrate the 78th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations. Important date is the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazism in Europe. We have conducted a lot of events dedicated to these occasions. Receptions in the embassy, exhibitions, cultural performances. We had concerts. We have even some cosmonauts from Russia visiting India, you remember. In the recent 2 weeks, our leaders spoke twice over the telephone. President Putin congratulated Prime Minister Modi on the Independence Day. He offered his condolences over devastating floods in Kashmir. And he also shared the information, the contents of his interaction with the US President Donald Trump. Currently, Dr. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, is in Russia to co-chair IRIGC Russia-India Intergovernmental Commission today itself, on the 20th of August. So our meeting is very timely. So we are supporting our dignitaries in their conversations. And tomorrow, Dr. Jaishankar will be meeting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. IRGC is the main mechanism of the Russian-Indian cooperation, practical cooperation, and to prepare the contacts of our leaders, which, as you may be aware, there are some information that by the end of the year, leaders will be meeting here in Delhi. No dates have been announced as yet. So, but this mechanism is the critical to prepare the substance of the current of the future engagements. Basically, based on the outcomes of the last year's summits. You remember that Prime Minister Modi visited Russia twice last year. The agenda, you will not be surprised by realizing that we have a very comprehensive agenda generally, and it will cover the issues of trade, investments, financial cooperation, energy cooperation, nuclear power, culture, infrastructure, etc. On the sidelines of the current events in Moscow, we will have a bilateral business forum conducted by the Business Council on Cooperation with India from the Moscow government and FICI. Among the future engagements is the SCO Summit in China. There were reports that our leaders are planning to meet over there. Further delegation exchanges are very intense. One visit I would like to specify especially, this is the visit of the head of the Republic of Kalmykia. This is the Russian Southern Republic to India. Mr. Batum Hasikov, who is now in India, he visited Delhi. He is now in Bodh Gaya. The places of his program could really highlight the essence of his engagements with the Indian dignitaries, officials. So that comes in the context of the Republic of Kalmykia being the most western part of the world, which with Buddhism as a dominating religion. This visit comes in the context of the preparations for the third International Buddhism Forum, which will take place in Kalmykia and its capital city, Elista. We expect to receive and to welcome high-profile delegation from India. And we would like to highly appreciate and extend our sincere and deep gratitude to the Indian government, which graciously consented to provide Lord Buddha relics to demonstrate during this event. This is a very important gesture. All that engagements altogether are definitely providing a very good impetus to the development and deepening of our special and privileged strategic partnership, which is of a long-term, forward-looking, equal, comprehensive, mutually respectful, and trusted, based on our national interests. The situation over the recent couple of years clearly demonstrates and confirms that the strength of our relations allows us to successfully adjust ourselves to whatever circumstances are there at the international stage. So,